Hello. So, one of the questions I have been getting from people is around comparing one to one support and mentoring with a group program. And I really love the fact that you are thinking about what kind of needs you have, what kind of requirements, and wondering whether, yeah, one to one support would meet those better. I completely hear you. I think one to one mentoring, well, if it was like with me, of course, then you would get more of my attention, all of my attention, undivided attention. I guess we would probably reach more depth on a particular point at that time. Um, I also see how one to one mentoring might be possibly less overwhelming. I don't think everyone appreciates being in a room of people or an online space of people with many different voices. And I think it can probably feel safer also that one to one place. Uh, there are probably other reasons. Those are just the ones that I can think of right now. Um, and so that is a really fair point. And if that kind of resonates with you, then maybe a group program is not for you. I am also a member of someone's group program, and I really appreciate that space. And so that's maybe also one of the reasons I decided to create a group program and share things in that way. And so I just wanted to talk a little bit about all of the things that I appreciate about that group setting. You get connection with people, and I'm uh, of my I go on about this all the time that we are beings of relation, and there is already so much isolation and separation, and we need to come together more. And so I really appreciate the connection, and through these connections, there is also a lot of scope for opportunity, for yeah, like friendships to happen, or collaborations, or one-on-one kind of little separate meetups in the end, to get more of that one-on-one time, uh, co-working little hubs. You might get invited by somebody who is creating a program of some form, but you're offering something that they need, and there are real opportunities coming from that. You have most certainly many more years of experience in the room. Yeah, I'm offering the mentorship because I feel I've kind of been around the block a few times now and have been doing this work for enough time to maybe have one or two things to say about certain questions, but I certainly don't know all the answers at all. And in fact, I often feel like I don't really know any of the answers. And so having other people in the same space with also a lived experience of doing this work is just simply invaluable. And this is what we saw already in the first free taster call that I hosted last week. Everybody shared some viewpoints and ideas and perspectives and experiences to other people's questions, and that is exactly the kind of space that I have in mind and I want to create. But it also means that you could come along and simply listen. Maybe you don't have a ready formulated question in your mind at the time, but still want to listen in, or maybe offer something to others, or be in that connection. So you don't have to join with a whole bunch of questions. You can simply join and listen and be there. And I have done that many times in that group membership program that I am in. That also means that we can learn so much from others, because very often it turns out that other people's questions were actually also my questions at some point, maybe not a burning question at that moment in time, but they're really interesting questions, and so I've learned so much from everyone else's questions, and then the discussion that came afterwards, and the advice and the insights and the ideas and the things to work on. When we are in a group, it is also a little bit more of a space where we can really be seen and heard, and not just by one person, like the one mentor, as in a one-to-one session, but really by others. And my intention is for this group to be a really respectful space, and there will be some community guidelines for sure, because I believe we need more of these spaces, and if I can create that and facilitate that and host that, then that's my contribution in a way. And yeah, you know what they say, it's like we're stronger together, and I think that really stands true. We are. So that's, I think, where a lot of the power lies. It's also an opportunity to, I mentioned this already a little bit or touched on it, to also give back, because you can go and or come in and ask your questions, and you'll receive from the whole group, but you'll also have an opportunity to give back and share your experience and ideas and tips and whatever they'll be brainstorming, and just you being there and listening to somebody else. So like I said, you could literally also just join and be there and listen. You don't have to say anything at all, but that is already giving so much, because yeah, there are just not really enough moments where somebody simply really truly listens to us. So there is this element of being able to give back in this way. And what is really beautiful to see already from last week's call, but really from this group program that I am in, is feeling inspired. You kind of walk away more with that sense of, yeah, I can do this. I am in the right place. I made the right call. I made the right decision. I am meant to be doing this. I'm probably not meant to be doing this alone, but I am in the right place. And yes, I can do this. And that might just be a little bit airy-fairy and fluffy, and the next day it's kind of, that feeling is already gone, but we keep fostering that. It's an important component. But in the ideal scenario, you've actually walked away with very specific and tangible inspirations, specific ideas being discussed, and you reckon, oh, hang on a second, I could be doing that, or I could be applying that to what I am doing in this or that way. And then the next day you go ahead and you put that in place, because it might not have even been like something massive, but just a small thing, but it makes all the difference. Or all these things can happen. So there's a lot of inspiration. So that's that's why I feel more drawn to offer a group space. And there will be also the opportunity to book a one-to-one session with me if that resonates in some way, or if you really have something going on where you want to have that kind of support and be seen and heard that way. But you probably only need that really from time to time, because that's obviously also the flip side. If you have continued one-to-one mentoring, which is super powerful, I mean, don't get me wrong, but that also becomes really quite expensive very quickly. So that's the other side of the group program. You get, in a way, like so much, but for way less. So yeah, that's another reason. And I, across the board, always try, I don't always succeed, but I always try to make what I offer also more accessible and available. So yeah, those were I think probably the main things that moved me to create a group program, and I hope that answers that question. And as I said at the beginning, it's not for everyone. All good.